Natalie Sideserf here of Sideserf Cake Studio, and I'm going to show you how I made a Chuck Taylor shoe cake. I'm starting off with a cake board that I made in the shape of the shoe, and then I roll out a thin layer of brown modeling chocolate, which will be the sole. I want to emboss the sole print onto the shoe. So to do that, I cover the modeling chocolate in plastic wrap and I firmly press the brand new shoe onto it. I'm not too worried about getting the entire shoe print on there, just the part that'll be visible near the toe. Before we move on to the cake, I go in with my tools and I emphasize those lines a bit and just accentuate the design. I've got some cream cheese buttercream and layers of red velvet cake that I'm going to stack and then carve into the shape of the shoe. So this cake was actually made for the YouTube channel Dude Perfect, which if you haven't heard of it, they're a huge channel and they do a ton of fun stuff. Using this cake, they did a game where contestants were shown a table full of items and then the person had to guess which one of the items was cake. So, spoiler alert. But you should definitely head over to their channel and check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. The comments on there really crack me up. Now I'm taking some black modeling chocolate and I'm rolling it out into thin panels, and then I cover it in cornstarch to prevent it from sticking, and I press some canvas onto the modeling chocolate to give it some texture. I love this. So the shoe itself is made up of pieces of canvas, so really I'm just replicating it using panels of modeling chocolate. I did something kind of similar in a past video with an Atticha shoe, so if you like this shoe cake, you should definitely check that one out too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now because I put out a new cake video every week. You never know what I'm gonna make next. I don't even know. So now I'm just applying those modeling chocolate panels to the cake, and I'm trimming away the excess with a nice sharp blade. Then I take my stencil and I'm using it as a guide to punch out the placement of the eyelets. So I make a couple of pilot holes with a tool, and then I use a round piping tip to punch out circles, and then I widen them slightly with a ball tool. Then I take some more modeling chocolate that I painted silver, and I attach them to each hole. This is where the shoe really starts to come together. I used an extruder to get these really thin strings of white modeling chocolate, and then I very carefully apply them to the cake. And I take my tools and I add lines. It's creating that stitching effect. Then I go around and I just replicate the stitching that I see on the real shoe before I move on to the sole. Now I'm just placing on some strips of modeling chocolate, emulating that rubber sole that's around the base of the shoe. Because my modeling chocolate is off-white, I go in with white food color just to brighten it up a bit. Then I go around again with more modeling chocolate strings that I made using that extruder, and I run those around the base of the shoe. Here I have some food-safe molding putty that I picked up from a craft store. And I love using this stuff. So I just apply it to the real shoe to pick up that diamond pattern that's around the front. Then I apply the modeling chocolate band to my cake shoe, and I press that mold onto the modeling chocolate, and it creates that pattern. This is such a great shortcut, and it makes the cake look even more realistic. How cool is that? Smash that like button if you like a good shortcut. Then I'm just going to paint it white before moving on to the laces. Now, the last part of the shoe is going to be adding the shoelaces. So again, I'm using modeling chocolate here, and I'm paying extra attention to the areas near the eyelets. I want to make sure that the laces look as if they're tucked into the hole. I don't want them to look too perfect, because if they do, then they won't look quite as real. And that's actually why I'm going to add a few little scuff marks on the shoe. I just want it to look a little bit more worn. And there you have it, a Chuck Taylor shoe cake. So what do you think? Would this fool you if you saw it on a table with a bunch of other items? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for a new cake video every week.